This is a story about hope and dignity, about a holistic system of development focused on creating healthy, self-sustaining families who prosper without further aid, carefully designed to create independence, a hand up, never a handout. And this is a story of just one of those families, a woman named Florence and her children, Nyangoma and Brian, thriving under one roof, bound by love, and as importantly, they're bound by health, nutrition, education, justice, and economic independence. But it wasn't always this way. When the Just Like My Child Foundation visited the small fishing village of Chico Iro in rural Uganda, an instant connection was made with Nyangoma, a young girl with a bright smile, carrying her brother on her back. She was healthy, but her mother was not. It turned out that Florence had AIDS, and without any medication, her body was succumbing to the disease and becoming more and more frail. Florence contracted AIDS from the father of her children. Left alone to fend for herself and her 3 children, Nyangoma was fortunately not infected, but Brian and George, these young boys were. The Just Like My Child Foundation, along with the Bishop Asili Hospital, immediately took action. And their focus was always to give a hand up, not a hand out, to help the family stand on its own. Florence's life was saved through Just Like My Child's Project Keep a Mother Alive. Keeping a mother alive is a crucial step in moving a family towards independence. It's impossible to overstate the vulnerability an orphan child faces in the developing world. Florence was directed to the Bishop Asili Hospital, where, thanks to infrastructure created by Just Like My Child, she was put on antiretroviral treatments.
She could find it hard to get food. We tell them that take your ARVs when you have eaten food.
That's all Florence needed. A constant source of nutrition so she wouldn't have to take the drugs on an empty stomach, and she became healthier and stronger. But the downward spiral of extreme poverty continued to pull her into its deadly grip. Desperately trying to earn a living so she and her family could eat and get the nutrition she needed, she was constantly pulled away from work to tend to her sickest boy, George. And try as she did with as much love as Florence could give, she could not save her young son, George, from his battle with AIDS. Let me sing of your love. But even amidst that unbearable time, she says that Just Like My Child was with her every step of the way. Part of that assistance was to help Florence become financially independent. The Just Like My Child Foundation helped Florence and other Ugandan women living with AIDS to create businesses through their Project Grace program. Over time, Florence earned enough money to be able to rent this apartment and have a place her children can call home. Nyangoma is going through Just Like My Child's Girl Power mentoring programs, so her mother's fate will never be hers, and she can change the course of history for the next generation. The Girl Power Project empowers her to protect herself, her body, and her future outside of the classroom. These tools have helped Nyangoma, giving her confidence as she steps into the real world. Just Like My Child sponsored Nyangoma, and she was taken out of the village and into a boarding school so she could get an education. She was taken off the path towards rape and disease, early motherhood, and near certain extreme poverty. She was put onto a path towards a bright future.
I want to be a nurse.
Young Brian's health is good, and he is being monitored by the staff at Bishop Asili Hospital. And Florence can now afford to educate Brian. She thanks them and all those who support the organization to make this family portrait possible.